Welcome back. Good morning to another episode of Bears Fan TV. My name is Dave, cover the Bears for BFTV, and we have Vic, of course, here this morning, and we have a great show. Nick from Just Another Year, Chicago, will be joining us just in a few moments. But the Bears, they got screwed. Like, I don't even want to sugarcoat it, Vic. There obviously was the owners' meeting this week. A lot came from it. The Bears met with the NFL. George McCaskey, Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson. They went out to, I think it was Arizona. They met with Roger Goodell. Actually, I think they flew to New York before, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Had that meeting about getting compensated for the third-round picks, the Rooney rule, which I think Poles had a really great, I think it was at the Combine, where he's like, hey, we met the rule. I hate the rule, but we met the rule. We should probably get compensated. But at this point, the Bears, there was an official ruling from the NFL. They will not be getting any compensation. No third-round picks for Ian Cunningham, who is, again, I guess he's not the GM. It's going to be Matt Ryan, who was not at the owners' meeting, or the GM photo at least. He was not involved in that GM photo, which, I mean, take it for what it's worth, Vic. But that says a lot to me. I'm shocked by the NFL at this point. We're going to talk with Nick about it before he hops on, though. How are you feeling? Do you feel the same way about the Bears kind of being robbed here?
Yeah, well, definitely. It's what the NFL implemented is technically correct, but I don't feel like it's right. So just to level set with people here, the Rooney rule is set where if someone gets promoted of color to the highest executive position, then you get rewarded those third-round picks. In this case, Matt Ryan is Kevin Warren, so he's the highest level. So even though it's an upgrade for Ian Cunningham, it's not the highest level, and therefore they don't get rewarded. So on paper, is it right? Yes, but when you're talking about the logistics and the perception of it all, it makes it look messy, and people already have a kind of like a messy feeling about the Rooney rule and everything tied into it. It's on paper, it's a good idea, but the execution has not been flawless. And so because of that, you have a situation like this, which means that NFL's a copycat league. This is going to happen again. I guarantee this is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be next year, but some team down the road is going to see this loophole and say, hey, okay, let's do that. Even though the team that hires doesn't give up the third-round pick, so it's not like it's taking it from the Falcons, so we can't blame the Falcons, but it is in a way where you can, if it's, let's say it's from your competitor. Let's say it was, Green Bay looking at the Bears and they were taking one of our, internal people. They could do that and feel good about, well, let's get someone who's actually the executive position, and therefore we don't have to give our rivals third-round picks from the NFL. So is it the end of the world? Not really. Would you have loved it? Absolutely, because, picks are picks. Whether you hit them or not gives you another opportunity at the scratch-off. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We'll have to keep moving forward. I'm happy that it's not a situation that we have like only 4 picks, like what was that? A couple years ago, the Caleb draft, we only had 4 picks. So I'm glad it's not like that, because then those third-round picks would really, really, really be helpful to get us back to the 7. But in this case, we have, I think, 1 first, 2 seconds. We have a 4th, a 5th. A 4th, and then 2 5ths or 2 7ths. So I think we have 7 picks overall anyway. So it's not the end of the world.
I agree with you, but it does kind of feel just a little dirty, a little weird.
Oh, for sure.
There was a great quote here from Marcus Whitman. Before I get to it, though, I want to bring in, we have Nick from Just Another Year. I want to hear his take. I've seen, obviously, some of his content on it, and then, of course, also his tweets. I think he probably feels in the same boat, but let's bring on Nick here.
What's up, Nick?
What's up, guys? Sir? How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hanging in there.
I'm still mad about the comp picks. I'm happy you guys are talking about it.
Yeah, Nick, that we won't spend too much time on it. It is just, it does bother me. It feels so weird. And like you said, Vic, I think you said the loophole. I feel like this is just going to be, there's going to be another iteration of this down the road. Hopefully not with the Bears, but I think there's going to be another team, and that may get this rule looked at. But Nick, first initial thoughts. I know it happened, I think it was yesterday or on the 3rd. Yeah, so yesterday on the 3rd, where it became official where the Bears will not get any third-round picks, which third-round picks are pretty crucial. Like, you can get some good players like Bailey Jones-Jr., but Nick, how are you feeling, sir? How are you feeling?
I listening to you guys beforehand. Yeah, it's just messy. It's a bad look on the NFL as a whole. Like, you have this rule in place, and clearly he's the general manager. Like, on the NFL's website, by the way, when it says primary football executive, it's in like quote, like commas, like GMs. And I'm like, yeah, he's the general manager. I think Atlanta should have gotten a little bit more involved in this, maybe made it more of like how is it hurting them kind of deal? They're not giving picks to the Bears. The NFL is. I just think the whole thing is messy. And I believe actually, I know you guys are talking about this is probably going to happen down the road eventually. I believe it already is happening in Florida. I believe one of the attorney generals down in Florida is suing the NFL representing all 3 teams in Florida at the moment for the same type of reason. Forgot who didn't get comp picks. I didn't look too much into it, but I did read that this similar situation is happening. And that's why Goodell was addressing it at the meetings this past week. So I think that the rule has too many loopholes in it. I think that the Bears should have gotten the picks. And like you guys were saying, I mean, Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson are pretty dynamite so far with their drafts. Their first 4 picks was Azie, Trapillo, Luther Burden, Colston Lovin, and Shamar Turner. Trapillo was great till he got hurt. Turner, we saw really good flashes of, but Luther Burden and Colston Lovin obviously have been dynamite. And the Bears having these picks would have been absolutely huge. I hope that and I assume they were planning that they weren't going to get them, but that's kind of how they need to walk into the situation. But I saw a couple tweets out there that I think the Bears are going to trade back now. So they still have an opportunity. Overall, though, they should have gotten the picks, considering Ian Cunningham not only is a general manager, he has an assistant general manager. Whole thing's messy, but we continue to move on. We're frustrated, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. I mean, I think it's an issue because we're Bears fans, so we're going to be a little bit more biased towards our team. But when you see other outlets, that cover the NFL kind of talk about how was an interesting choice by the NFL, I think that's when it starts to raise some flags. So we'll see when it gets addressed, if it gets addressed, but they definitely have to. On paper, the Rooney Rule is a good idea, but you just have to make sure that it's executed to where people feel like it's actually impactful in the way it should be. You know what I mean? And not just just having this rule there so that people feel good about something. And that's kind of what it feels like right now. Now, I'm sure they didn't maybe think about this ahead, which is a whole different problem, right? Because that's the thing with the NFL. You don't necessarily have to have the same hierarchy from team to team. Like, you have to have a GM, and you have to have a head coach, and you have to have players, right? But how you run the business, because these are privately run businesses, they can decide on if they want to do a Kevin Warren and then the title they give Kevin Warren, right? Well, the Bears, for example, you look at us, we didn't even have a president. For 100 plus years, this team didn't even have like a top guy, right? The top guy was the GM, and then you had the McCaskies. So they decided within the last 5 years that actually we're going to switch up the hierarchy here and make it run more like a business. And so every team does not have to do that. So you find these loopholes in this situation where, like, if that was on someone else's team, that probably is the executive. But the Falcons said, you know what? No, we're going to make a unique situation here. And we want to bring back, one of the most famous Falcons players in the last 20 years and make him run the ship. So I get it. They got to figure it out.
But he admitted to not running the ship. He was like, it's going to be Ian. Like,
well, not running the player, not running the player portion. I agree, but that's the whole loophole part. Is like,
that's the
what is
here.
The real role? You know what I mean?
Yeah. The optics are that Atlanta and even Matt Ryan was like, yeah, this is Ian's. Like, he's gonna be calling the shots. And I wonder, Nick, because you said, hey, has Atlanta helped us out at all? And obviously, Ian Cunningham coming from Chicago, really good friends with Poles. I wonder if they even said anything, and if they did, I'm just still shocked that the NFL was like, and maybe they're just so stubborn. Roger Goodell and company, I think they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna, because if they go back on it, right, and like, hey, we're gonna award them, it almost is like admitting you're wrong, right?
Yeah.
And I just don't think they want to do that. They don't want to do that at any cost, if they can help it.
The other thing, too, is that Ryan Poles and Matt Ryan were good friends while playing at Boston College. And then there were those reports that Ryan Poles was helping Matt Ryan prepare for his interviews and what it would be like in the role for the Atlanta Falcons. So it's just like it's blowing my mind how much help the Bears have had with the Falcons, and we have gotten nothing out of it in this entire thing. Do we know if there was external conversation or internal conversations that we don't see as just people like us? Sure, absolutely. But Ian Cunningham at the NFL Combine coming out and saying, under the impression I was under, they should be rewarded the picks, and I wouldn't be here without them. So, it's the whole thing. It just has everything out there right now that it's like, yeah, they deserve these picks. But for some reason, the committee just doesn't want to give it to us. And I think it's a bunch of baloney, but there's nothing we can do at this point.
I think this is a good comment here from D. Levine on YouTube. It's a good reminder that it's not good. Goodell. Well, obviously Goodell is the front facing calling the shots, but he doesn't work for the GMs or for these teams. He works for the owners. So if the owners get together collectively and say, yeah, we don't care, there's nothing really he can do. So I don't feel like this was a Goodell only decision. Like most decisions in the NFL, they're never just tied to one person, but I'm sure there was a lot of internal conversation from some of the higher ups, and they're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Because a lot of this stuff comes down when it's not an official rule. A lot of it does come down to a committee, and the committee is 32 owners. So if one owner is like, hey, you effed us over, and the other 31 go, we don't care. Well, sorry, bud. Majority rule. So I think Goodell's just the mouthpiece for it all. So we'll see if they fix it, though.
They probably won't. I think this was the last chance, right? As far as like the appeal, if it was an official
it's over
appeal.
for the Bears. Yeah, we'll see next year though in the offseason talks
if they fix it.
Type of clarification.
I will say this though: if they ever go back and award maybe another team in a very similar fashion, we better get compensated. I don't care if it's 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road.
We'll take it.
I feel like we definitely need to get awarded those picks. But I want to talk on Ryan Poles as well, because he said at the Combine that he feels like the Bears met the Rooney Rule, but also he noted that he's not a big fan of the rule because of it's like you're awarding for basically developing your coaching staff, and he's like, that's not what we're doing it for. We're not trying to meet this rule, but the Bears met it. And I honestly kind of agree with him. I don't think this rule, I would say in about 2 to 3 years, it's probably going to be either reworked or just completely, I think, gone, just because of how weird optically it looks. And now you got the Bears situation. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you think this was one that, like, it's almost like the onside kick at the owners meeting? They finally took it away, whereas like you can only do it in, I think, the fourth or down. Now you can do it any time. That always made more sense to me.
But
I'm sure
can you always still do Sorry.
No, go ahead, Nick. Please, go ahead, please.
No, I was just, that's the one thing too, is that going to the onside kick, I think you could still only do it one time in the game, though. I think it's just you can do it at any point, right? Or did they just?
I have to look at the rule again. Yeah, I
don't like that either. You should be able to do it.
I think if you announce it, you should be able to do it whenever. But I understand. I got to give the NFL some bit of credit though, because they have been, at least over in my history, the past 5 years, really trying to change and make things work. Well, you'll see some other leagues that take forever to make a change, like baseball. Now, not recently baseball. They've been making a lot of changes because the fans are like, come on, you got to get caught up with the time. So I got to give them an effort, like an E for effort on what they're trying to do. They just haven't gotten an A for the execution on everything, which is kind of typical what you see with not just the NFL, but a lot of these leagues. So when I look at the Rooney Rule, right, on paper, it's like promote persons of color, you get rewarded. Fantastic. Oh yeah, that's great. Not many people are arguing that, right? This it sounds good, but how you do that and the intention behind it is what makes it important, because that, if you do it flawlessly, people say, hey, that's exactly what you intend to do. If you don't, people start to question the credibility behind it and the motives. And that's where it starts to get messy, at least from a public perception. And that has a lot when it comes to these major leagues like the NBA, NFL, and whatnot. So we'll see what I think they will address it. If I was a betting man, and I don't know if you guys think differently, I don't think they're getting these picks ever. And we're just gonna have to be like, move on.
Yeah. It's history now. It was considering there's been like practically nothing to talk about the last month. It's been a nice little topic for us to stay forward to. But it's done, over with. throw it in the back seat. Let's keep moving.
Yeah. But
Right.
yeah, it just stinks because if it was like 2 7th rounders, you're like, okay,
Yeah,
I
whatever.
could probably get over this a little bit easier, but it's like 2/3, obviously one this year and then one in 2027. But we'll move on. I want to, and I know Nick will get you out of here in about a few minutes, but I wanted to touch base before we let you go. Azie Trapillo, there obviously he went down last year. I think some of us probably understood, okay, this is actually probably pretty severe, but the optics now when Ben Johnson when they spoke with the media spoke with him last week on the left tackle position, he goes basically there's a lot of uncertainty there. Said he's not sure the Bears will have Trapillo during the 2026 season. That's why Braxton Jones and company they brought a couple safety valves in to kind of hopefully help with the situation. But at the same time, when they talked with Poles, it looked like everything was on the table, including the left tackle spot. What are your thoughts here? Like, would you want the Bears to pursue and maybe use a first-round pick, second-round pick on a left tackle, or are you willing to wait it out, use a stopgap for Azie Trapillo, and maybe if we can get him to return?
I honestly, I talked about it. I think it's Monroe Freeling from Georgia.
Freeling.
If he's available at 25, you got to take him. You got to. Like, Azie Trapillo, we don't know if he's going to come back 100%. Do you guys remember Gabe Karimi out of Wisconsin back in the early 2010s?
First round
guy
pick.
was a rock star, and then he suffered a significant injury, never came back. We don't know if Azie Trapillo is going to come back. And I've seen some folks go, yeah, medicine is more advanced now. He'll be fine, so on and so forth. We don't know that. Look back at Derrick Rose, Dave. I'm not trying to, poke at any strings or anything, but, Derrick Rose, you look at that and you go, yeah, he came back and then boom, right back to where he was. You don't know how these guys' bodies are going to react. And when you're 6'8", 315, and you got all that weight on those legs and specifically your knees, yeah, I don't know. If 25, you're taking best player available. If left tackle, which is a need for the Bears right now, is available, you got to take him. I don't see Karan Amagaji coming back. I don't think he's worked out really well here. The Bears can save $1.2 million by cutting him. Yeah, they'll have $500,000 in dead cap, but you take the money, more money versus a little bit of dead, and then you don't have to deal with him next year. I don't think Wills Jr. has proven enough in the NFL. I mean, we only signed him for 1 year. He's not. We don't know what he's going to do either. He's coming back from a major injury. He might not even make it through camp. None of his money is guaranteed looking at his contract. So he could be someone that we bring in and all of a sudden it's like, boop, gone. Okay, then you got Braxton Jones and Theo Benedict, which I think strong. They both were starters last year. They both know the offense. But if you got a rookie coming in that you could have on a 4-year with a 5th-year option, especially with all the money we're going to have to pay Caleb, Colston, all these guys down the road, I think you got to take a left tackle at 25 if it's the best player available. If it's not, I would be open to doing it in the second round or even the 3rd round pick at 89. I think that the Bears have a good opportunity here. We do need to still address defensive tackle and edge, which edge is a little bit deeper in this draft, so we have more time to do that. But if defensive tackle or safety is sitting at 25 and left tackle isn't, then you got to balance it out. Poles said it too. There's 3 guys, and it goes down to, okay, what's the bigger need here? And our defense obviously needs a lot of help. Our offensive line's pretty locked up at the moment. But if you have a left tackle at 25, I'd be very open to doing it. I don't think Braxton Jones and Theo are the answer. Dan Rochar's talked about both their individual struggles. I think Theo's a better guard if they were to move him there eventually. But Braxton, I heard he looks good, but he didn't look good on the field last year. There's so many factors that go into it. So that was a long-winded answer, but I'll break it down real quick. Sure. If best left tackle is at 25, you take him. If Braxton Jones is the guy, Braxton Jones is the guy. But I am open to going after that left tackle position because we don't know about Azie's health.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's really well said. It is so unfortunate though. Azie was, because early on he had those rookie. Well, he didn't even start, right? But then he gets thrown in, right? I think after the bye, or no, it was Theo, and then it went to Azie. But he was playing really well, and obviously he was learning on the fly. And so for him to be, I think he was just as good as Braxton, probably better in certain spots. And there was just a lot of promise. And now you have this injury that, if it was anything else, like you could recover from, but with this one, it's the patella tendon. Right?
Yeah. And there's data. Yeah, there's data on that where it's like 30% of only 30% of athletes come back the same. It's like a very damaging
How unlucky.
And I would like to see that number for linemen specifically. Like, again, the human body is not designed to be that big and that heavy and
move like that.
Move like that. And who knows? Azie was so great on the run, but Ficky, when you were saying that, I was like, I would like to see if they could break that number out even more. See if AI can pick up something and be like, oh yeah, it's like 4% for linemen.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's. I think you nailed it where you just don't know because you have modern medicine, which has gotten better. Where you have someone, I know it's a different sport, but you have not Jaylen Brown, but what's his name on the Celtics? Why cannot think of his name? Tatum. Sorry, Jason Tatum tore his Achilles last year, and he just won Player of the Week like last week in the NBA, right? So the timetable to get back on the field for a lot of these athletes is shrunk compared to what we've seen in the past, but it still doesn't mean that it's perfect. And so you still have a risk there on whether or not he's going to come back at the speed at which you want to, that there are no setbacks. And even if those first two happen where he comes back quickly, there's no setbacks, how does he actually look on the field? Because I think if you look at Braxton Jones last year, he's not a perfect player, but I don't think he was even fully healthy that first couple of weeks because that didn't even look like anything close to the Braxton Jones we'd seen before, right? And so, you're hoping in the same thing with, like you talked about Willis, right? From the Browns. He took a whole year off because of his major injury. Where he was like, I'm not going to play so that he could actually have a fresh start for free agency. So you're hoping, right, with the mix of Braxton Jones fully healthy, Willis fully healthy, you may not have to address that, but that position, you can't just leave up to the stars to be like, yeah, we'll just roll with what we got. So it's a very delicate situation, and it is very much going to be impendent on how the board falls for the NFL draft, because Brian Poles has shown this best player available is typically the tactic he goes. If it's don't force your hand if you're going to get the third best tackle when you can get the first best safety, right? If that's the case, just making up a position here. But just don't go for need because you feel like you have to, especially how they acted in free agency. You do have guys at left tackle that you can do a rotation. We forget last year, Azie did play well, but we also had a rotation at tackle. Theo Benedict, we had Braxton Jones, and we had Azie Trapillo. Obviously, that's not how you want to do it every season, but you can make it work, especially with Ben Johnson as your offensive coordinator. He can scheme it up where you don't have to with an offensive lineman. You're the solo weakness, right? You could say the weakest chain of the line isn't soloed out as often as you'd like, right? So I think because of that, I feel better in a way where you don't have to feed the hand there. But like you said, Nick, if there is someone there, top of your board, maybe the best left tackle, because a lot of right tackles are going early, pull the trigger.
Yeah. And you touched on it. Braxton Jones, you said he was looking a little different, right, Nick? So I think it was Johnson last at the owners meeting. He goes, Braxton Jones is up to 310 and he looks yoked. So that was Ben Johnson. Of course, he had some time to kind of get right, obviously rehabbing and everything with the injury. We'll see what that looks like. I think it was a relatively good deal. I think it was $5 million.
$5 million.
And we'll see what it looks like. But Nick, I know we got to get you out here. Couple kind of rapid fire questions for you.
I got 10 minutes, guys. We're good.
Perfect. All right, we're gonna get a lot in here in these 10 minutes. I want to start with what position, if you had to guess, and I know it's a lot of BPA right now, but one position that you're like, hey, if the right player's there, I want them to go this direction. And I know you said left tackle, could be left tackle. If that's the case, we can move on. But what is your preferred position out of 25 for the Bears in like 20 days?
I've been pounding the table about a defensive tackle. This draft has a few that are just solid guys. Like you got Lee Hunter, Kaden McDonald. Kaden McDonald is my guy. Like that is the one that I'm pounding the table. If he's available, you have to go out and get him. If you're at 24 or like 24 is picking and he's still on the board, I would even be like, do you pull the trigger? And I know Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham slammed the phone when they were trying to go for Roma Dunze. It's that risk you're willing to take, but that is a guy that would change the whole Bears defensive line, not only this year, but looking at the long term. Looking at that position, you have Grady Jarrett, who has 2 years left on his contract. You can't cut him this year because it would have too much dead cap, but next year you can. Same thing applies to Dio. So the Bears this defensive line can get reworked as time goes on. You still have Austin Booker on a contract for 2 more years. You still have Montez Sweat on a contract for 2 more years. But Gervon Dexter, his contract is up after this year if the Bears don't extend him. You need to have someone in that defensive tackle position for next year and in the years to go on. You can also have him on that 5th-year option as well. But the number 1 run stopper, according to PFF this past year, great guy getting into the backfield, super good at effectively swatting away hands on the interior and stopping runners. He's everything in a bag of chips that you want for the Chicago Bears defense. I think Dennis Allen would be a big fan of him too, because not only is he 6'3", 326, he doesn't move like that. He moves like an edge on the inside, very fast and athletic, and you have to go after that position. That's a position that the Bears have struggled with, and I've called it the Larry Ogunjobi curse. Ever since we didn't get him, defensive tackle has just been mid at best. And I love Gervon Dexter, really good guy getting into the backfield, struggles against the run. From our just overall defensive tackle position, Andrew Billings starts getting going, injured, isn't the same player after that. You bring in Grady Jarrett, he's hurt for the first 4 weeks of the season, finally gets going at the end of the year. We don't know how long his warm-up's going to be this upcoming year. So overall, the Bears' defensive tackle position has been such a struggle, and they have to hit on it correctly. So 25, Kaden McDonald's there. I am pulling the trigger. I'm like, yep, that's the guy right there. Fits the fast, explosive mentality that Brian Poles and Ben Johnson want. Super strong, and also he has that killer instinct that Ben Johnson said you need 2 or 3 of them on defense. I think that he'd be the 3rd one in the trenches. I think that it would be big. So defensive tackle at 25 is my pick.
I like it. You got something, Fick, before I shift?
No, I was going to say that's important because our run defense was absolute dog shit. So it was pretty bad.
29,
pretty bad. Yeah, to say it nicely.
And still had a pretty fun season. So that's pretty.
It did.
Cool.
It did. But we need to. I think you nailed it, Nick. It's like we just haven't had a legit run stopper. The Andrew Billings 2 years ago was really good, but everything's been kind of short lived. We haven't had like that guy. So the only downfall of Kaden McDonald is pass rush isn't great, and it may not ever be something. But if you're getting him to make sure you can get into 3rd and long, so your secondary actually has optimal chances to make plays, I'm here for it. Yeah. I would not be mad about that.
So I want to shift to this offseason. Obviously, we had free agency. It's pretty much over, minus a couple maybe other signings. Bears probably won't be conducting any of those. The draft's a couple weeks away. As of right now, Nick, have the Bears, like, I see this question, like, they're like, some people are like, the Bears got better, the Bears are the same, the Bears are way worse. What are your thoughts? Where are they at right now? And I know we have the draft. I think that's going to be a big component. But right now, how do you feel? Because I feel a certain way, and I think it's actually polar opposite of, like, I would say majority of the fans. But how do you feel about this team as it's currently built, with obviously losing Brisker, Byard, but also adding Kobe Bryant and obviously other free agents?
We got better. I like when I see people go like, we got worse, I'm like, why? What is it? Because we don't have big, sexy names like, other teams get in free agent? We got flipping Kobe Bryant, one of the highest paid safeties in the NFL now. But
NBA Hall of Famer too.
And
love that.
Absolutely love it.
So he's a Super Bowl champ.
That was bad. I'm gonna get out of here on that one.
No. Like we now have. Last year was not Dennis Allen's offseason, right? Like it was Ben Johnson. Yeah. You build the team around Ben Johnson. Guess what Ben Johnson did last year? Younger and faster. And that is exactly what they're doing now with Dennis Allen's side of the ball. Devin Bush, for example, comes in, fast linebacker, best takeaway linebacker in the NFL last year, cheaper than Tremaine Edmonds, fits Dennis Allen's scheme. And I'm going to sound like a broken record because Kobe Bryant fits Dennis Allen's scheme. On top of it, too, Neville, he fits Dennis Allen's scheme. Like a lot of people were like, oh, that signing's terrible. No, if you look at his numbers and his playing style, it's exactly what he needs for this defense. And we wanted improvements. We went out and got it. I think that this Bears team got faster. It got younger. They have better contracts, in my personal opinion. You look at some of these guys after 1 year on these 1 or 2 year contracts, you can cut them and get the money back next year. Like I think Poles and his team did a fantastic job, better from the roster perspective, contract-wise, and also fitting what Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson are looking for. This team now is built for these two almost completely before the draft, and that's why I'm super pumped about it. And One thing that I think makes us even better that a lot of people aren't talking about is that we brought back Case Keenum. Case Keenum, veteran quarterback, really helped Caleb take it to that next level, and he was contemplating retirement. They brought him back. That not only helps out Tyson Bagent. Let's say the Bears get a call on draft day for Tyson Bagent to trade now that we didn't get those comp picks. You know, we have Case Keenum locked up for the next 2 years. It still has a decent backup. So overall, I think the team got better from speed, from mentality, and also longevity too. So Dave, I don't know if you went in the direction or Ficky, you two, like if you guys went in the direction that they got worse. I think they got better though in a lot of ways.
They got I agree with you. I said this with Dave when we talked about it in our free agency show. There's 2 qualifications I look for. How much it cost and the talent, right? When we look at the cost aspect for all of these players, which Poles has been consistent about, he always does a really good job at that. So you got cheaper or they're more affordable based off the talent you have. And then the only person that you left where I feel like the talent didn't match is probably a Kevin Byard, right? Like Kobe Bryant is good, but Kevin Byard was all pro last year, right? So that's the only name where you walk away and you go, wow, like that's going to be hard to place, and the locker room presence. But I agree with you, Nick. They got younger, they got faster, and they got cheaper. And I like all 3 of those things. Will that equate to more wins this year? We'll have to wait and see. We still have the NFL draft, but I liked, at least on paper, their approach to how they attacked free agency this year.
Yep. Yeah. And totally agree with Kevin Byard. That was the one I was like, the one that got away. Like, no, like, what are we doing here? Because they paid him what, $9 million? I was like,
$9 million. I think it was his choice, though. I think the Bears did what they did all that they could, and he was like, I'm going to go back with my previous coach, which I can totally understand.
A team that literally just went to the Super Bowl, and like, you know, he obviously vibes really well with Mike Vrabel. Yeah, I agree with that. I that was the one where I was like, please bring him back. Brisker, I get it. He went home, and also there's risk with his injuries. That was one. And then Deshaun Wright, like, got burned a lot last year. I think that the Jets got an absolute steal of a deal with him, though. But overall, yeah, Kevin Byard was the one I'm like, come back, bro.
All of them had 1-year deals too, which is kind of crazy when you think about the market that I thought they may get. Yeah, tells you a little bit of what the NFL kind of thought. But Nick, I'm real quick. I'm in the same boat. I think the Bears did get a little bit better, but I think where they're gonna really make strides is in this draft, because I think it's gonna be defensive focused. They're gonna bring in a lot of obviously speed, great young players, hopefully. So, but Nick, thank you again, sir. If you guys want to, obviously, if you guys know, just another year, Chicago Bears. They also have Bulls, Blackhawks. I think they have everything, right? You have socks?
We do. We now have everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Minus the fire. We're still working on that.
Come on now. A little soccer, a little football. But check out Jay, of course, Bears content on X, Instagram. Always has great shows. Always a pleasure. It's been way too long. We'll have you on again, though, sir. Okay?
Yep. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Great seeing you, and bear down, baby.
Bear down.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, guys.
Wonderful. Thank you again. I can't say enough to Jay, Nick over there, what they're doing, what they're building, what they've built it's been really cool. So with that, give him a follow. We'll have all of his stuff in the link in the description on our YouTube. But thank you again. Always a pleasure having him on. And I think this is a good start here. If you can, guys, if you like the show, if you like the interview, a lot more coming with the draft. Really, really great special guests coming up in the next couple of weeks before leading up to that 2026 NFL draft. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when we go live every Saturday in the off season. In the morning, we'll be here. With that, I kind of want to get to our first break here, and then we have a great rest of the show for you guys. So stick around.
Yo, before we keep going, whether you've been rocking with us since day one or you just stumbled onto us today, we see you and we appreciate you more than you know. First time here, drop hashtag new face gang in the chat right now. We're giving you a shout out before the show wraps. Welcome to the fam. You picked a good one. Are you an OG? You know what to do. Drop a hashtag OG in the chat and we're shouting you out too. Y'all built this thing with us and that doesn't go unnoticed ever. Seriously, every single one of you that tuned in right now, you are the real MVPs. Not the players, not the coaches. It is you. We don't take that lightly. Now let's get back to the show. Absolutely. And then
Absolutely.
since we went a little long, we're going to do one more as well. So let me knock this out real quick. Yo, real talk. If you're a true Bears fan, which means you've been through the suffering, you might as well collect the memories. Windy City Sports Cards has the cards from all your favorite teams and players, constantly updating inventory, and they actually care about quality and authenticity. No bootleg nonsense, no shady flips, genuine collectibles, and real value. They're building a whole community around this too. Box breaks, social updates, the works. Whether you're a diehard collector or you just want something to hold on to from the good times, go check out Windy City Sports Cards. Link in the description. Now let's get back to it. Also, speaking of that, I don't know if you saw the news, but Topps is now making NFL cards. They're back in the game. So
yes,
Windy City Sports Cards will be the place to get that once that starts to happen. I think actually on the Topps Twitter page in their banner, they had a Caleb Williams card in there, so they were definitely showing him off. But exciting stuff, man. Topps, that used to be the thing back in the day, so excited to see how that goes. Yeah,
Windy City Sports Cards, shout out to them. Amazing sponsor, great friends of the show. And then I saw them, they also tweeted the Luther Burden, I think it was the platinum Topps card.
Yep.
It looks so sick. So if you guys are into collecting, if you're not, if you want to get into it, I think it's a great time with Topps coming back with the NFL. If not, just really cool. I love cards. It's like Madden, where you can see all the artwork and stuff and such. So excited.
Yeah, collecting is fun. So
it is fun. And if you're gonna do it,
so fun.
It is expensive, but the best way to do it, Windy City Sports Cards, check them out. Right. Link in the description. Of course, you just heard about them, but appreciate everything they do for the Bears community. So with that, Vic, I want to move over to a couple things here. Again, before we move on, thank you to Nick from Just Another Year Chicago for hopping on with us. Obviously a great show, but a couple things with it. The draft's coming up. We have obviously the comp picks. We're not going to talk anymore. However, I wanted to go over just some of the dates that are coming up, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't have a lot of football. We have the draft in a couple weeks, but it was announced the Bears, well, actually all of the NFL, all the teams announced when they're going to be going to OTAs, mandatory minicamp. And honestly, football is right around the corner. So we have OTAs May 27th through the 29th. And then we have June 2nd through the 4th. And then we have a mandatory minicamp June 9th through the 11th for the Chicago Bears at Hallis Hall. Nothing crazy, but I know a lot of people are like, what is the offseason? When are these dates? I think it's always cool to see, maybe look forward to, especially after the draft, because you're going to have those rookies coming in. I think there's a rookie minicamp too that should be in there. I just don't think it's been announced quite yet.
That's normally June-ish, I think, right before the OT.
I think it's May. I think it's before the first. I think it's going to be before the first mandatory not mandatory. The first team OTA, because I think there's a rookie and then the quarterbacks come. I think Caleb will be there. Obviously, Tyson Bagent.
Like a 3-day thing before. But it's right around the corner. We really have this. We have this month leading up to the draft, right? Where there's not much going on. Then you have the draft, and then you have about like 2 to 3 more weeks after that. But at least you have some draft coverage to talk about, so it doesn't feel as bad. And then, boom, football kind of starts. Then you have that dull in July, and then after that, we're basically there. So I know this month for a lot of us, I know our watchers, me and you included, Dave, has been a little bit slower. There's not much really going on. So it's exciting that we're finally getting there. And I think draft is always the precipit of it all. Like, it is what gets it going, the fire starter, the catalyst. And that's why I think it's so exciting.
It is very exciting. And I know we haven't really done our mock drafts. So I will say this, if you guys want us to do a couple live mock drafts today, hit that like button. What are we at here? If we can get, I think we have about 50 people watching. Actually, we have 533 watching across all platforms. If you guys hit that like button, throw us, let's see it in the comments. If you guys want us to do a couple live mock drafts, you guys can help us out too. We'll just have some fun with it, maybe to end the show the last 10, 15 minutes. Let us know by hitting that like button and then also in the comments. And then you guys can go ahead and maybe do a couple live drafts with us, which I always love. I don't know. I guess we're going to use PFF still.
They still have it. Yeah. I think
that's what I've always used. This might be the last year. This might be the last year. Shout out to all the guys at PFF. Really tough business. We get it. But best of luck to everybody over there. And but anyways, we'll get some mock drafts. We already got a couple yeses in the chat. And so if you can, like I said, hit that like button. So before we do, I want to touch base on Well, there's a couple quotes here because obviously we had the owners meeting, Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson. First of all, the photo, I don't think we've dissected it. It was quite funny. Ben Johnson looked real relaxed. Honestly, we have two like really cool just individuals. Ryan Poles looks really awesome, really cool. Ben Johnson, I think he looks just calm, cool, collected as well. But there was a note here where he said they brought up Kyler Gordon, they brought up Jaylen Johnson, and they said how he noted how challenging it was to form relationships with both of those guys last year, given how much time they missed due to the significant injuries that they had. He basically said we're starting over completely this spring with their relationship, so he has a better chance to get to know those players. And the reason I brought it up because you're like, what does that even mean? Like for me, I just like the ability for Ben to kind of step back and really admit that, because other coaches, the vulnerability factor where it's like, oh no, like we're fine, like the great player, he's gonna be back, but he's like, no, man, like I did not get to coach them as much. I didn't get to really form that relationship, as he said. And for me, we touched on it early on, but like it's not like draft picks, but it's almost like free agents where you're getting Kyler Gordon back and Jaylen Johnson, who are arguably could be top 3 in their position, right? The corner nickel with Kyler, and then Jaylen, who is a shutdown corner. And we saw that very, very in glimpses last year. But for me, I love the vulnerability, the honesty that Ben usually carries himself with, especially with the media. But to get these players back in that capacity and to see them be able to, obviously they're a part of the team, but to have that culture as well, where they're on the field every single week, I just can't wait. And I just appreciated that. So I wanted to say if you don't have any thoughts on it, that's fine. It was something that for me on my notes from, when they met with the media, I just really appreciated that because you don't see it quite often, I think, in the NFL.
Yeah, I think it's a fair assessment because I'm thinking back, because you always have to compare, right? Thinking back to Eberflus, he typically had a lot of word salad. Nagy had a lot of word salad. Now, does that mean it's going to equate to more wins or not? No, but it is nice from people who cover, the team like me and you to get that honesty. I think that's what it is. Like, no coach is going to be completely honest 100% of the time, and I get why they wouldn't be. I wouldn't either. But I think that's an important one. This doesn't hurt the team in any way. It's a question like, hey, how's your relationship with some of the guys you never spent time with? And he's like, well, I never spent time with them, so I'm going to have to build it up this year. And that's typical. When you're injured, you're not on the practice field. That's where coaches get to know a lot of their players. On the practice fields, in meetings, things like that. When you are injured for a prolonged period of time, you're not in those meeting rooms because you're just rehabbing and then you're leaving, So I think that's important. And it is kind of like free agents. It's like you got 2 new free agents back, and that's good. That's going to be a good sign. And hopefully he'll be able to build those relationships in a strong way. The good thing is that it might be more of a one-sided relationship in this way, where like Ben Johnson still needs to learn about them. But I think Kyler and Jaylen Johnson, through, talking with teammates and watching on the sideline, they've probably learned quite a bit about Ben Johnson. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a true free agent where they're coming in, they're like, well, I don't know who this coach is, what his standards are, what's his processes and procedures. No, they know all of that. So I don't think it's going to take as long to ramp up that relationship, but I think it's just the nature of the beast where you don't spend time with each other. You're bound to not have as deep as a relationship as Ben Johnson has with Caleb, who he spends every day with, So it's not the end of the world, but I think I do appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, I think I think you're right, Fick. The honesty. There's a quote here as well. This is from D. Levine on YouTube. You pulled up. He says, one of the most promising quotes from the offseason is that Ben Johnson is having more input in defensive selections. I think he knows exactly what type of players builds championships. And first of all, love that. But the fact that we're talking about a Bears coach in that regard is pretty cool. And I think you're right. Offensively, that's what he's known for. But I think just as a team builder and as I just feel like he knows what type of players kind of
I think the intangibles
and what he's trying to build. Yeah, the intangibles.
I think he does a good job with because he's built different. Like when you're talking about Ben Johnson. So I think he has a good, again, this is all speculation.
It truly is.
From what I watch, I feel like he has a good gut check to be like, oh, these are the right guys that I need to get. It reminds me of like a Kurt Signetti for IU, how they won the championships because he looked at some guys from smaller schools and he's like, no, look, you may have not shined or you may not even be the most athletic in your position, but like I see something in you that I know I can coach. And that is one of the biggest things because of great players you see all the time when they're not coached well or they don't take coaching right or they don't just, you don't see that work ethic or things like that. They end up busting out or they end up not flaming out. The contracts are overpaid. Yeah. So that is important. Now, do I want Ben Johnson overtaking Ryan Poles' job? No, Ryan Poles should still be doing what he needs to do, but I do like the co-collaboration on this. And I'm hoping it's more of the intangible aspect while Ryan Poles is trusting his scouting department, who's done a pretty good job over the past 3 years to actually spot out the non-intangibles, or tangibles, I should say. But yeah, I think it's good overall. That's what you want. That's a healthy business relationship. It's inputs from different areas. You take some, you don't take others, and you come together and you hopefully get the right pick.
Yeah, get the right pick is right. And speaking of picks, we are about to hit this mock draft here in a minute. Got a question from Gage. When are you going to do a mock draft? I would say in about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit sooner. I just want to touch base on, like I said, Ben Johnson. I think you're right that he is built from like kind of a different cloth, which is, I know it's said so much, right? You hear like, oh, he's built different, that cliche. But I think Ben truly is, like, you almost see him like flip a switch with the media where he kind of has to like draw it back because I think he truly is so different when he's with his players, when he's in that locker room. We saw glimpses last year. And I know that taking the shirt off, gets the headlines. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like he's just so locked, and he will tell Caleb, like obviously they're really good friends. You see Caleb kind of memeing him on his Instagram live, making not jokes, but just like they have that friendship, right? Yeah. And if you're really good friends and you don't make fun of each other, like are you friends? Like you hear that you're not. So for me, I think Ben though has the ability. It's uncanny in my opinion, and it's where the elite coaches are, where it's like, yeah, they can be that friend type, but it's like also he's on Caleb. He's on his players where he's able to hold them accountable even though they are close. And that's rare. That's what I think is rare when it comes to a coach.
Not only that, but he holds himself accountable. I think that's one of the biggest things because it's easy to point the finger and be like, hey, you're not doing your job. Well, he showed many times throughout the season where he's like, that's my fault. I told the guy, like normally some coaches will do that, internally and we'll never hear about it, but he'll come out and be like, oh no, I didn't like that call on 4th down. That's 100% on me. I messed up. I can't do that again. That is what you want from the leaders of your team, right? That obviously winning is important, but like having that, in my opinion, there's some sort of correlation to accountability because you recognize the mistakes you're making and then you're putting a willing effort to hopefully stop those mistakes and make changes. So like the first, they always talk about it, if you think of philosophical here is like, the first part of changing is realizing you need to change. And that's what accountability is. And you've seen from the top guy compared to who he had before, Matt Eberflus, who didn't have accountability. Ben Johnson says, no, it always starts with me. If I show up every day and I'm accountable for myself, then I have the ability to hold others accountable and it actually be credible with my words. Because if I'm not accountable for myself, then people are going to say this is a bunch of BS. And honestly, all of the players have been like, yeah, he's intense, but we love it. And I really think it's because of how he holds himself and the standard for himself. And I think that's what's the most exciting part is because this team has been bad for decades. And it's always from the top down. It's like any business. These are businesses. The top down. If your leaders are wonky, your team's going to be wonky, right? You can have some good people within, but they're not all oiling at their, they're not all firing the pistons at the right time. And so him being the right guy and coming in here and making sure to set the standard from day one, I think is going to allow this team to really thrive.
Yeah. I love it, Vic, but this comment here got me from Levine. It's even rubbed off on George McCaskey. He says he's stiff-arming Packers fans now. And I think
he was accountable for it, too. He apologized.
He did. He was both.
I shouldn't have done that.
I love the mentality, but he's also like, let him get to me. I got to be better. Shout out to George, man. I think what a turnaround he's had in the last probably 2.5 years.
Winning helps.
Like optically, winning, landing a guy like Ben. It's been cool to see this turnaround. The only thing that's exhausting is really that stadium talk. And I thought we would touch on it, which I guess we are right now, but I don't want to. Just let me know when it's where you pick it.
Yep.
I hope it's not Indiana. No offense to Indiana. I don't like that really. However, if we get a world-class stadium, I guess it doesn't truly matter, but I would love to see you in the lakefront, stay there or Arlington Heights.
Arlington.
But
just go Arlington.
That's what we need. That's our stadium talk. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. We appreciate it.
There you go.
Let's get to I think we have one more ad break, and then it's gonna be mock draft time. So
excited.
But before we get to this ad break, we do have a very, very special giveaway. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. It's actually with Windy City Sports Cards. It's the last day to enter. We'll get to what that is and how to enter in a second, but let's get to our first our last ad break here.
You've been a Bears fan your whole life, and you deserve something special for that. Bears Fan TV's Patreon, The Den, is it. For only $1 a month, you could become a rookie Grizzly. Get Dave's weekly articles, merch discounts, exclusive content, and more. His actual brain on paper for only $1. And for $3, you'd be a veteran Grizzly. Everything in the rookie tier, plus early access to film breakdowns before anybody else knows they're dropping. Extra exclusive content on top of that. You're not waiting, you're first. And for $10, you'd be a Hall of Fame Grizzly. All of it. Every perk, every discount, every piece of exclusive content, plus monthly calls with Dave and me. Personally, you got questions, ask them to our faces. We're building something special here. 1,000 members is the mission, and you are how we get there. Links below. Get in the Den. We'll see you in there. Absolutely. Dave's first article comes out this Monday, so if you want to get in there, $3 tier, you'll be able to get that, or $1 tier, I believe. So excited about that, and we have a bunch of content kicking off. This is the first month. Merch, I was sending Dave stuff, merch ideas I'm already doing. Yes. Hats are already made. Got to get the store up, but like this is the month we're ramping everything up, and we're going to be running back like
the Patreon is the foundation of Bears Fan TV. You guys have helped supported it even more so since we've gone independent. So again, if you can't join, you can join for free, of course. But if you want a very easy, free way to help support us, hit that like button, subscribe, tell a Bears fan. We appreciate it. Again, the bedrock, the foundation is our Patreon, and we already have over 60 members signed up that we relaunched it. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. We'll keep it building. Obviously, we have the Bears mailbag episode too. So we get your guys' questions. We will answer them live, or we'll record an episode where you guys will answer your questions. So every month, there's just a lot of great stuff. You can check it out. Link in the description. Link in our socials as well.
But you can check out the calendar. Yeah, and also last thing, you can check the calendar as well on our Twitter as well.
Yeah.
So we post that every month to see what's actually in there, all the content we're giving. So a bunch of stuff. Yeah. But let's get this up and going, Dave.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here, and we're gonna do a mock draft. But also before we do, we have a really, really special giveaway. It is gonna be with our guys over at at Windy City Sports Cards. Again, show is going to be sponsored by them. Oh, I am having the wrong screen. There we go. Okay. Windy City Sports Cards. This is for obviously the partnership with Bears Fan TV, but they're giving away a Dick Butkus signed jersey. You can see it right here. If you're watching on YouTube, I mean, it is pretty sick. I'm not sure if you're going to wear it or if you're going to maybe hang it up or put it in what is a shadow box or something like that.
Yeah, like a frame or something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just looks so sweet. But the way to enter, it's super easy. Like and retweet this right here. You just go to I think it's their pinned post. Follow both of us. So Bears Fan TV on X, Windy City Sports Cards on X, Twitter, and then for an extra sub, if you're watching right now, which I know there's a lot of people watching on YouTube, just subscribe to the channel, hit this like button, and you're in to enter. Today is the last day. So April 4th, I believe it's going to be around, I think this afternoon is where they're going to cut the entry. So this is a perfect time to get a last minute entry in. Subscribe, tell a friend about this. Would love for one of our viewers to obviously get this one. It's pretty cool. Obviously salute to service as well. So you have, just a really cool opportunity. Shout out to our partners at Windy City Sports Cards for this one. I think it's one of my favorite giveaways we've ever done. And I know we've given a lot. And then of course,
and more to come.
And then also we do have our 2 season tickets, our 2 tickets to the season opener for the Bears. That is still going live. It's going to be going, I think, through the draft. So if you want to enter that, all you got to do is follow us and then subscribe to the channel. One of our subscribers is going to win 2 tickets to the season opener.
Great.
Cannot wait. So with that being said, I know that's a lot. We're excited about the giveaways. The support has been unreal. We're over 2,000 subs on YouTube already, nearing 3,000.
Awesome.
So appreciate that support. With that being said, let's transition to a Bears mock draft. I think this is going to be the first one we've done on Bears Fan TV since we moved over. Also, it's our first one of the season, really just in general that we've done live. So with that, are you ready, Fick?
Yeah, I am ready. Let's do this.
Okay. And shout out to Thomas Whitty. I see you. Morning, fellas.
Yeah.
Good morning, Thomas.
Good morning. Yes.
10 a.m. Central.
Same with you, Trapillo. Good morning. Let's do it.
Absolutely. We'll let a lot of people in here. If you want, please participate in the chat. This is going to be the best way to really get this mock draft going. We're going to talk it through. We're going to let's do 3 rounds, Vic.
Yeah,
like that. Do 3.
Let's do that.
So 3 rounds.
Let's do no trades. No trades, right?
On the first one.
Yeah, no trades. Good.
Okay. Bears mock draft. The best Bears mock draft.
That's
right here. Just kidding. Okay.
Okay, let's let's review what went through. Can we go up and see what happened?
Yes.
Yeah. So at number 1, we have Fernando. No surprise. Arvell, I think that makes sense. Jeremiah Love, 3 to the Cardinals. Okay. Ruben Bain, 4 to the Tennessee Titans. Sonny Styles went 5th to New York Giants. Then you have David Bailey to the Browns. That'd be a dynamic defensive line. Holy cow.
Gross.
With Miles. Caleb Downs, that makes sense, to the Washington Commanders. Oh, Thieneman, they had him going all the way at top 10 to the Saints, the safety. That's definitely one on the Bears list. Then you have the best corner in the draft, Mansour Delane, went to the Kansas City. Then you have Mwaga, tackle from Miami, who went to the Bengals. You have Mekhi Lemon, first wide receiver from USC, going to the Dolphins. That makes sense. Fano, another tackle, right tackle, went to the Cowboys. Then what's after that? Let me see. Then we have Monroe Feeling. This is what Nick was talking about. That is the left tackle, big boy out of Georgia. He ends up going to the LA Rams. And then you have Iona, who's the guard, probably the only guard going in the first round, but he went to the Ravens, which makes sense. They need help there. Sadiq, the tight end, went to the Bucks. That makes sense. McCoy, who looks like a draft riser recently, he went to the Jets. That's a good pickup. Cardinal Tate, interesting. Ohio State stud wide receiver, ends up going to the rivals, the Lions. And then you have Mesidor, the 25-year-old edge from Miami, ends up going to the Vikings. Then you have Kendrick Falk, edge, goes to Panthers. This was tough. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, which I really do like. He ends up going to the Cowboys at 20. CJ Allen, linebacker out of Georgia, goes to Steelers at 21. Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver, 22 to the Chargers. TJ Parker, the edge, to the Eagles at 23. And then Cassius Howell, the Austin Booker clone from Texas A&M, goes 24 to the Browns. So when I'm looking at this before we get going, names that are in like the Bears, talks, both of the top 2 safeties, Radar, thank you, gone. Thieneman, McNeil-Warren, boom, don't have a chance there. TJ Parker, some people had him falling to us. Cassius Howell, I could see that. Defensive ends there. But the one thing I noticed out of all of this that has not been addressed, not a single defensive tackle has been taken yet.
Until now. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Kaden Proctor. Obviously, that's going to be on their tackle. I know a lot of people like him. Kaden McDonald. I think a lot of people, we already see people in the chat wanting to take McDonald. I see people wanting to take Proctor. It's really, this is going to be such a decisive, first round pick. I think if we go tackle, I think there's going to be an uproar. I think if we go defensive or interior, I think there won't be as much, but I think the tackle is what would be decisive if the Bears went that way. And I can see both sides. I'll be honest, Vic, I'm leading. First of all, is Zion Young? He's way down here.
Yeah, Zion Young.
I don't know where he's going to go.
There has been some talks that he's going first round. So, but
that's what I'm saying. But wouldn't it be nice to get him in the second somehow? But the Bears pick so far back.
Yeah,
you'd have to trade up. You'd have to trade up for day 2. But here's what I'll pick, Vic. I'm gonna go Kaden McDonald on the interior defensive line. I think it's the no-brainer.
Where is Peter Woods at? Where is he on the big board? Is he probably just shortly after that? Yeah,
right here, 33.
Okay.
And this is where I wish. This is where those third or that third round pick,
The
or a comp pick.
Comp pick.
Could have been interesting to have here. Like if
Use
you
that
want
to
to
trade
move
up,
up and
yeah.
go like from second, I'm not saying move up in the first, but if you have one of your seconds and you want to pair it to move up, man, to have that extra ammo to go get a guy, you know, like I'm not saying Peter Woods, but maybe like a Zion Young. If you really felt like, you know, great about him, you could probably do that. And I would say, yeah, the biggest thing here, though, I think you'd probably go defense here. Kaden McDonald would be my pick. Are you feeling the same way?
Yeah, it depends on what you're looking for. Kaden McDonald is the best run defender, like Nick said, easily the best run defender, but that's basically what you're getting. He may not be there on third down. Like you're getting a 2-down player to put you in favorable third down positions, and then you're putting in someone more like a Javon Dexter. I mean, Javon Dexter would play next to him, but you're putting in someone who has a pass rush.
Yeah.
Peter Woods is a little bit,
which a lot of people like him in our chat right now.
He has a higher ceiling, but he had a worse year performance-wise than Kaden McDonald. So it's kind of like, what do you want in that situation? I'm fine with whatever. Since we're both agreeing on interior defensive line, I'm fine with going Kaden McDonald, but I would not be upset with Peter Woods there. And Jacob Afonte loves Peter Woods. I know Peter Woods is probably the most polarizing defensive interior position right now. Because if you look at his rookie year or his freshman year in college, this dude was going to be a top 5 pick. They already, like, if you look at the beginning of this year, in like the way too early mock drafts, they had Peter Woods a top 5, if not top 10 pick in almost all of them. But he had such a bad year, right? I think he was too big in his size. That made him put him on a lot of weight, and where they were playing him and his technique was a little bit different than the year prior. He just didn't look as good. So it's like, what version are you getting? Are you going to get the ceiling of someone who was super dominant, looking like going to be a top 5 player? Or are you going to get someone who looks like they might fall the second round? That's more of a riskier play compared to Kaden McDonald, where you kind of know what you're getting. So let's go with Kaden McDonald here, since we both at least agree on him.
And we're not going to trade back here. I know there's a lot of people, hey, trade back. That we'll do another draft here in a second. We'll maybe make some trades, have some fun with it. Right now, we're just going to keep all of our picks. But I think moving back, if Peter Woods is still on the board with Kaden McDonald and you're not sold on McDonald and you want Woods, moving back a spot or two, recouping, a little bit of capital to get Peter Woods, similar to like what they did with Darnell Wright, with, trading the pick
with the Eagles.
And then obviously Eagles went and got Jaylen Carter. It's something you could do here, but we'll go Kaden McDonald. Kaden McDonald here. Anyone that wanted Peter Woods, I totally get it. For this mock, we are going to go with McDonald.
Can't get them all.
So
can't get them all.
Can't get them all.
Can we
and
go
now
up
we
and
pick
see?
all the way to 57.
Can we go up and scroll? I just want to see. So I saw some people in the chat. So R. Mason Thomas went right before. Zion Young went first round at
32,
pick 32 to the Seahawks. Trying to see. So you had Caden Proctor go. Okay, so actually let's look at this. This is important. So you had the tackle out of Arizona State go to the Bills. Then you had Caden Proctor, tackle out of Alabama, go to the 49ers in the first round. Avion Terrell to the Texans. Blake Miller. So you see a run of tackles here. Goes to the Chiefs. Colton Hood, who had a really good pro day. He then ends up going to the Dolphins at pick 30. My boy, Omar Cooper Jr. from IU, ends up going to the Patriots. They need a wide receiver, so that makes sense. And then this is the big one, Zion Young, which is crazy. Goes to an already incredible defensive line over there in Seattle. And if we keep moving on, Jets end up taking QB. We're not worried about that. Ty Simpson goes there. Keep scrolling for me, Dave, if you don't mind.
Yep. Ty Simpson, first quarterback, round 2.
Yep, first quarterback. So Peter Woods went to the Cardinals. Caleb Banks ends up going to the Raiders. Caleb Lomu, the tackle out of Utah, ends up going to the Texans. D'Angelo Pons, my boy from IU, ends up going to Bengals. Lee Hunter, which has been mocked to us, ends up going to the Saints at 42. Keep going. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to see the big names that have been related to the Bears. See if there's some edges here. So Christian Miller, that's another one that people are talking about. Like, you wait for the second round, you could get him. He ends up going to the Jets at 44. And then trying to see here. Keonte Scott, the nickel out of Miami, ends up going to the Green Bay Packers at 42. Malachi Lawrence, who's probably one of the biggest like athletic freaks when it comes to edges in the draft from UCF. He ends up going a couple picks just before us at 53 to the Steelers. And then you have R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma that literally went right before the Bears.
It's rough.
But
and we're not moving up. We're not trading up
we're
in
not.
this one, but man.
But you know what? I'm not going to lie. I've seen this guy mocked here. I would not be mad at this selection. It's the highest ranked player on this mock draft as we speak, AJ Halsey. I think Daniel Jeremiah's most recent mock had the Bears taking AJ Halsey in round 2. So I wouldn't be mad about that. It is a need. He's a really good player. He's basically safety 3 in this draft. It's not a bad pickup. What's your thoughts? What's on anyone on this list where you're like,
you want my honest thoughts? Man, 57 is so far down. Like the talent that, okay, there's a lot of talent in the draft. I get it. And you can get a lot of picks here. Obviously, the Bears pick at 60 as well. So you get these, but I hate that the Bears have to wait so long because you could see some of these names, Fick, that we talked about, right? I mean, Mason Thomas that just went at 56. I can see the Bears truly moving up a little bit in this second round to try and maybe get one more, I hate to say premium, but like a Zion Young, right? Would be very, very interesting. If you wanted to go and get, who's the other? Lee Hunter at 42. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of possibilities here where the Bears might get a little bit aggressive and maybe send a 2027 pick to kind of get another like big jolt on that defensive line or at least defensive side.
I forgot another name too.
If they stand put, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because you're talking about, go up there and get these certain players, but I forgot Jacob Rodriguez, one of the better linebackers, also went at pick 46. I missed that one to the Bucks. So
I don't want to see Jacob Rodriguez. Not in the second. I would not want to see that, in my opinion.
Oh, you wouldn't want that? I mean, it's fair.
I like him as a player, but can we get him in the third? Is that even possible? Probably not.
I mean, I don't know. It had him going 46, so he went top.
It did.
Second. So
I just don't want to spend premium on a linebacker right now.
So since we have a lot of linebackers out there.
I do like AJ Halsey.
You know what's interesting? You're talking about trading up. I would actually, if I was a betting man, I bet he trades either 57 or 60 back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying he won't trade up. I'm not saying he won't trade up.
He will trade back.
He loves trading back. He trades back more than he trades up, for sure.
Here's what I think happened, Vic. I think there's gonna be a team at where the Bears are going to pick at 25. I think right here at 25, the Bears are going to trade back. Like if I had to 25? Truly feel like, I think they're going to trade back unless they have a player they're like, cannot believe he fell. He was like way high on our board. I would say it's like a 60% chance that Poles moves back maybe 1 or 2 spots to recoup another like late round pick or mid round pick. That way he can kind of have a little bit more. Actually, I mean, he might go back to 32.
You know who has the ammunition to trade, and I can see them trading up. You see Ty Simpson went to the Jets at 33. Mm-hmm. Are there any QB needy teams?
Arizona.
So pick Miami, maybe. Would they jump Miami? Miami needs a quarterback. Jets. They just signed Malik Willis, but that's not long term. Would the Jets jump Miami to 25 to get Ty Simpson? A lot of times when you see trades in the back half of the first round, it's people trading up to get a quarterback. Think of like Jordan Love. Jordan Love was drafted.
What about the Cardinals too, Fick? If you want to get really crazy, if the Bears were like, hey, we're sitting at 25.
Oh, yeah, they want to jump ahead the
Arizona,
Jets, Miami. Yeah.
Arizona calls is like, hey, we really want, like, we didn't think you'd fall here. He's there at 25. We'll give you that would cost a lot, especially if they're going for a quarterback. That just costs more at that point. 34 to 25, you're probably looking at a second, right?
Yeah, more than likely.
At least, in my opinion, a second and maybe some change. That way, then you're looking really good, in my opinion. It just depends on what 25 looks like. But I would go with AJ. I like a safety here. I think the Bears need to pair somebody with Kobe, especially a younger player.
There's some good names on there. Jadarian Price is the second best running back. I like our running back room now, but we only have one more year of oh my gosh, I can't think of his name. One more year of Swift. So you could go Jadarian Price. He's the second best running back. It's basically the 2 top running backs in this draft are both the Notre Dame running backs. Obviously Jeremiah Love and then Jadarian Price. So that could be an option too. Who knows? I'd be shocked by it, but with Ben Johnson, you just never know. But AJ Halsey is definitely a good pickup here. Go ahead.
Yeah, there was D. Levine, Jacob Rodriguez. He's been taken in this mock, and then we see Zion will probably fall to the second. Yeah, I'll let you pick this one, Vic. I guess we can go down a little bit more here.
Let's see. So Derek Moore would be a good selection, the edge out of Michigan. And also another one I like is Dennis Allen, the edge out of Penn State.
Yeah, Derek Moore.
Now, Moore's a little bit smaller. Yeah, he's a little bit smaller. But if you go to Dennis Allen right there at a Penn State, but I think it's a little bit too early to pick him. Right under, right
Dennis
there.
Sutton.
Yeah, Dennis Sutton.
You can say Dennis Allen. It cracks me up.
My bad.
I was like,
Dennis Sutton. My bad. So he's got a great profile, 6'5", 265, only 22 years old, 3'4". Now he's projected at a 3-4 defense, and that's not typically what we play, but he would be hand in the dirt type of defensive end. I think he'd be a pretty good pairing along with Montez Sweat. And Montez Sweat's only got 2 more years on his deal, so you need to really start to beef up that defensive end line. But that seems like a little bit further of a drop. I think Halsey Halsey is.
I'd say Halsey, and then look at here.
So Scott, what went between us is Dunker, the tackle out of Iowa, and then Skylar Bell, which I saw some people thinking he could go to us, UConn wide receiver, but
yeah.
Okay, so
I was gonna look at some centers. I don't even think center's not even gonna be on the board here. Probably looking at third.
No, not yet. That'll probably be the third. Also, and the question from moving up from pick. Yeah, that's a good one too. It is. Moving up from pick 34 to 25 is going to cost 160 points, which is around a third rounder.
Oh, I bet you could maybe get a second, right? I know the points are the points. And what
well, I guess it depends. You could send some, Jimmy Johnson chart. You could send something back,
kind of like they did with DJ Moore trade, where they sent a fifth. I think also if you know they're going quarterback, which if Arizona's calling, it's going to be for a quarterback. It's probably going to be for someone like Simpson
same with the Jets.
There's that quarterback tax, that you got to put, you got to pay. So I'll be honest, Stokes would be very interesting.
24 years old.
He kind of reminds me of Jaylen Johnson, doesn't he?
He's a long,
but Jalen's also not like he's not like a speed demon. He's not like a specimen as far as like athletic ability. He's just like a shutdown corner. He has great instincts, and I think there's just a lot of similarities with Stokes.
Yeah, great zone corner.
But
I don't think that will happen.
He played more left tackle. Yeah, I had a feeling. So I don't know how I feel about that. Caleb, Northwestern.
What was
6'7"? Ben Johnson.
5. He does like those big guys. It's like
I don't know.
That's the risk, though. You draft this, that is saying you have literally no idea if Azie would be good or not. I don't know if that's what they do, but again, if you're taking best available, maybe that's the best available. I like Sutton. I think that fits more of our defense. Derek Moore is good, but I think if you click on him, I think he's undersized.
He's too small. Yeah, right? He's way too right. 6'3". If you're going Dennis Allen, I just don't think he's gonna roll the dice on him unless I don't know. I'll why not Stokes? Are you not a fan?
No.
Or you just rather go edge?
You pull his up. Pull his up again.
Yeah. So he's 6'2".
6'2". Go back to his analysis.
24 and a half. So,
the grades.
I don't think they have anything on him.
No, my bad. Yeah.
So he played the slot a little bit.
Better. 90 overall coverage grade or 90 overall grade, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have? 6. Let's see. Coverage stops.
So 6 forced incompletions, 1 dropped interception. He had 6 missed tackles. I like that a lot. Coverage stops, 11 stops.
4 interceptions last year. I mean, I would not be mad about it.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Vic. I agree, but I think if we go, because right now we have Kaden McDonald, AJ, and if you go, I think you need an edge. I think if you go with,
do you force it?
Dennis
Sutton, what I mean? I mean, do you force it? Because
I would trade back a little bit here if you could, but we're not trading back in this. So with this situation,
you know what?
We're not trading at all.
Let's do BPA. Let's do Stokes. We lost a corner. We don't know. Stevenson's on a last year deal. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And corners are premium, man. is better need. You drafted. People don't like that. People don't like that.
That's okay.
I really like Stokes.
That's your first 3 picks. I'd take that.
But I think what you need to do here is you probably need to beef up the defensive line a little bit more. And we went 2 secondary players.
Well, the third, you could probably do that. You could probably get someone in the third.
Let's do one more here. Well, we'll make a couple trades maybe. We'll slow it down. But this is what we have right now. And I'm not too upset with it. So if you guys like this one, hit that like button. Subscribe, of course. We're going to be doing a lot more mocks. We have a really, really fun guest that knows a lot about the draft. He's on YouTube. He'll be coming on very, very soon. Hopefully next Saturday would be the goal here. So stay tuned. Follow us on all socials for that announcement. Are we ready for another one?
Yeah, let's make it a little bit slower so we can,
for sure,
be able to trade. Will you mind doing 3 on this one? Yeah, go.
Sure.
Cool.
We'll do. Is that?
I think that should be fine.
Okay.
Cool.
I can always. Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. We're not going to trade within the top 10, so you can let that thing run. Jeremiah Love 2. That's crazy. To the crazy. Jets. They have Breece Hall. I don't really see that happening. But anyways, it's fine.
I mean, I love, but that.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. They have Thieneman. Sorry, they have Thieneman going top 10 both times. All right, let's see where we're at.
Wouldn't he be great?
I don't see him trade more. Realistically, he wouldn't trade. Like, this was probably where trades would start. Let's see who's on the board. And Vikings won't trade with us, so we'll probably have to play that one through. But
oops. Wait, where am I missing?
Hit. No, where's it? Hit resume then, maybe.
Yeah, I might have to
pause. Oh, because it stops after each one to know if you want to trade.
Yeah, to get up there.
Well, let's look at I don't see any defensive tackles. I don't see Peter Woods taken. The one you'd have to worry about is trading up in front of the Cowboys because their defense is awful. But I'm going to be honest, I don't think we trade up. I'm okay with waiting.
I'm going to trade back.
We'll trade back, yeah.
Avion Terrell.
Yep. I could see Eagles going defense too. But
Mark Cooper.
All the way to the Chargers. It's nice.
There's a team. There's a door. Okay. Cassius Hall.
Yeah, Cassius Hall is still there. I don't see him.
Very tiny, though.
Yeah, he's tiny. I don't see that happening.
Not tiny. I'm not. Dennis Allen's fit.
For Den Allison. Yeah, 6'10". Yeah. I mean, 6'10". 6'2" is not a big defensive end. Let's see what the trade options are here. Because I still see, like, if you wanted to get K. McDonald, you could. TJ Parker's still on the board. Look at that.
This is what I'm saying. Arizona.
This is perfect. So we would see if we can get a second.
It's possible. They're at 65. That's so far.
And send 129.
Philly.
Oh, sorry, 129, not 239. I think.
Oh,
I don't think that's. There we go. I think that's more like.
Think so?
That's fine, bro. We still have 3. That would give us.
Okay.
Boom. I think that's a good one. They're probably gonna take Ty Simpson.
Go ahead.
What? That's crazy. That's crazy. All right.
So then we lose. This is honestly the worst. Yeah, that's not great.
Now. But we still get Kaden McDonald. Let's see what happens.
Yep.
Boom. Oh, the Jets. Okay. All right, let's see who's on the board. I don't like Caleb Banks because of the injury history. Like, he's a phenomenal specimen, right? Athletic,
6'6",
free,
23.
but foot injury concerns. Back-to-back years, I don't know. We can't take a risk on that. Your first pick can't be that risky. Look how he's dropped off the draft boards because of that injury. Did you see that in the trends?
Oh, yeah.
Dropped significantly because of at the very end, the tail end, you can see because of the injury. So, though he still drafted us 14% of the time, a lot of people see him going to us. I don't know. I just don't want to take a risk on that.
Okay.
Let's see. You have Christian Miller, you have Lee Hunter, and you have Zion Young. I say since we traded back, let's just get the man right there. What's your thoughts?
Zion Young at
and
34?
Yeah.
I
think we already.
I like Zion a lot. I mean, I was fine with him at 25 sometimes. I go back and forth, but I think getting him at 34 would be interesting. I bet you could even trade back a little bit.
Here's a question from Paul.
Christian
was
Miller.
McNeil Warren? Was McNeil Warren on the board at 25? No. McNeil Warren and Dylan Hanneman went top 20, I think, both times.
Yeah. Emmanuel McNeil Warren went 21. And trust me, I'm a big fan. If he was there, I think I would pull the trigger. Lee Hunter's also interesting. The only issue here, I don't think there really is. I think it's just pick what you prefer. Senior,
yeah, there's
6'4". I think he's big enough.
Different types of defensive tackles, so it's kind of what you want. Yeah, pick your poison there.
I would go with Zion. I like Zion Young a lot.
Like and then we can probably get a defensive tackle later.
I'm just trying to see what went. Caleb Banks went right after.
Miller. Yep, Christian Miller went.
Okay.
That's all right. There's still some edges.
I don't want to trade up.
No, let's not.
Realistically,
you probably wouldn't have back-to-back trades anyways, if we're being honest.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see that very often. Halsey's gone. Gabe Lucas from Illinois, he's gone. That would have been a good
Ty
pick.
Simpson going 53. Holy moly.
Jeez. Well, here you go. You got Malachi Lawrence, who's we talked about the athletic freak from UCF. So if you click on him, Dave.
Right now we have Zion. So we go double edge.
You could. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I mean, look, you have Montez Sweat going out.
You got to go interior.
You got to revamp. 6'4", 250. But he killed it at the combine. But
outside, Staps lineman is very interesting. Where is he trends?
Yeah, he's jumped up because of his combine performance.
Yeah,
he murdered it there. So Keonte Scott would not be bad either. A good secondary piece. I don't mind that.
Jesus, yeah. There's not much interior like this. Yeah. Oh, okay.
I can't force your hand there,
dude.
I think Keonte Scott is probably who I would go. He's really good. Malachi Lawrence, not bad, but it's never. I don't trust the risers from the combine. I'm a tape guy, which means that if you didn't perform well on the field, I hold more weight than you being able to do a bunch of good tests. And I think Keonte Scott has been a good player throughout the season. So he jumped up because his playoff performance. That's why he killed it in the CFB run. So that would be probably my take. But I'm open to discussion.
We'll take him.
Okay. We're back again. You got Derek Moore now. You got Traden Stokes. Probably wouldn't go back.
Yeah, you can't go corner.
Jake Gall.
Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, he's more right tackle.
Right tackle? Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Unless you want to, yeah. Oh.
You got Derek Moore and you got Danny. Is there any trades here? Because this is the one I think they'd trade back from.
No trades right now.
Nope. Says he got 0. I thought it was a 9. My bad.
61, 60. Yeah, I don't see much right now.
Yeah.
I don't think go linebacker. Double up on the edge would be funny.
Bro, I mean, but we talked about it. They got to revamp this D line. But again, it's like there's too many question marks. Is Austin Booker going to be that guy? I don't know. Do you take a tackle here? Do you find your replacement in running back? Getting Jadarian Price this late would be crazy, but I also don't think Ryan Poles is going to draft a running back that high.
No, he won't.
When he can find Kyle Monungai in the 7th,
And I love Kyle. I don't want to take any snaps away from him right now, honestly. Let's just go
Skylar Bell, maybe. You want to go wide receiver? Get your new wide receiver 3?
No, because I really like Jade. I really do. What is the comment saying here? We got Scott here.
No, that was the last one. Deontay we took.
Oh, Jaylen.
Derek Moore 3. Yeah, Derek Moore is a good one. He's smaller though.
He is smaller.
He's 6'2", right? But he was pretty
outside
solid.
Tackle, off ball, over tackle.
But it's like now we have 2 edges. But again, you can't talk about revamping a defensive line if you're not gonna
and not go. I mean, I would rather have multiple. Yeah, have just a revolving door, you know.
Wait,
Let's
Halton
go
here.
Derek Moore.
What about Graven
Let's go with
Halton?
Dennis.
Sorry, someone in the comments said Graven Halton. Where is he still on here? Grayson Halton. Yeah, you could do him.
I would get him at 65. I would try to.
Oh, yeah, because we're not too far away because we traded back.
65, yeah.
I say, do you want to do Moore or Danny? I think Danny fits our mold more.
I really like Moore. So I know we already did Danny. Let's just do Danny and hope we can get that defensive interior. Yeah, we can. Here we are. Grayson Halton, if we wanted. Five picks ahead. If you're not familiar, OU.
Yeah, he had a really good year. They'd be a good selection.
5 sacks in 2024 and 2024. 3 QB hits, 22 hurries. Pretty consistent last 2 years.
I do like that.
A gap, B gap. Obviously played in the B gap a lot. Outside tackle.
So he's a 3-tech for sure.
First look, yeah. Halton is undersized, versatile defensive lineman who wins with quickness, effort, and movement skills. His lack of strength can be an issue, but he fits well in multiple movement-based fronts.
So I wonder how he is.
22 years old.
I wonder how he is in the run game because that's
so his run defense 89.
Oh
last
wow,
year.
That's his best. Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah, I like it. I think this would be a very, very good pick. Tracy Halton here,
and we have one more pick, right? One more third, I think, near the bottom, right? So.
Yeah, 89.
89, yeah. Okay. Let's see here. This would be actually really ideal. I do like how the board has fallen for this. Especially that trade back is huge out of the first. I would not be upset about that. I know that's not like exciting for our coverage of the first round, which you guys should tune into on BFTV, number one show for the fans by the fans. But I think that would be huge for us. Oh, let's get hecked, man. The center, Kansas.
Pretty cool,
Kansas
man. We're gonna tweet this one out. Let's tweet this one out.
Yeah, let's do it.
Very, very cool. You don't want to look at anything else?
I mean, we could take a look just for the exercise.
For the vibes.
So you have Genesai Smith if we need a safety. He's a pretty decent safety. Obviously, Sam Techt is. I think he had a visit with the Bears. He had a visit with the Bears. I'm pretty sure he's a really good zone center, which works in our offense. So, but let's take a look. I think that's what we're gonna go with. But I just want to explore some of the others.
This is the one. This is
for sure. That's who I'd want. You got LT Overton, but we already have edges. There's Logan Jones. Let's look at Logan Jones. That's another center. He's I think right up there with
24. He's a little older.
More of a pass. He's better in the pass game than he is in the run game. And I think Ben Johnson favors run game. Will you go back to Sam Hecht? I think he's better in the run game and not the pass game, right?
He's really just
about
like
the same.
Same,
Yeah, I think Sam Hecht is probably the move here.
You give up 0 sacks every single year he played.
Yeah, that one's a little misleading though, because sacks
0
for centers are barely given up. That's important, but sacks
and then a little hurries. Yeah. Either way, though, it's just you'd love to see it. Yeah, that's,
for sure.
I think that's it. Because how many did I know it's not like ideal, like as far as like how good they are. Hurries. I mean, just a couple here. It's just to go perfect is pretty impressive in 3 years with over how many snaps did Sam have? Over what is that? Almost 2,000.
1,500.
Yeah, a little under 2,000. Yeah.
It's a lot.
I'm down.
Can we? Yeah, I think it's going to be pick. Can we scroll down? I want to see what else is here. Yeah, Genesai Smith. You got the big kind of. Yeah, he's a big wide receiver. He didn't do well in the combine though. I'm trying to see the other name. Wheatley, another safety from Penn State. That'd be a decent selection. I'm not mad about that. But yeah, I think just based off the board and need, you got to go Sam Hecht.
Okay. Yeah, this was a no-brainer, in my opinion. Okay. We'll tweet this one out. You guys make sure to follow Bears Fan TV on Twitter, X, whatever you call it. We'll see what you guys think about this one. This one I think would be I like it. Let's see here. What was our grade? Does it even give us grades anymore?
Oh, I think so. Scroll down. Oh, does it put it at the overall B+? I'd take that.
Interesting. I think the people are going to be upset about the double edge, but It is what it is.
You want to build your line? You got to build it. I don't know.
So to recap, obviously made a trade with the Cardinals. Took Zion Young, Keonte Scott, corner out of Miami. We went doubled up on edge. Danny Dennis, Sutton, Grace Halton, defensive interior from OU, and then rounded it off with Sam Heck, center. I think this is pretty interesting.
Yeah, pretty maybe they probably won't double edge, but I wouldn't be mad if they did. I really wouldn't. We can't complain about that. The weakest part of our team not getting better and then not addressing it with 3 picks. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
there's no perfect way to do this because there's so many variables, but it'll be interesting to see if they approach it in the same light where the first 4 picks are all defense. I don't think that will actually be the case just because of how the board is random, but I think they'll do their best effort to do that.
I agree. Y'all let us know. I see a couple people in the chat on YouTube. I like this draft. Let us know what you think overall of this one from PFF. Over the next few episodes, we're going to be ending the show with live mock drafts. So if you enjoyed this, there's more to come. Hit that like button, subscribe, stick around. We have a great guest next Saturday going live at 9 a.m. Central again. It's going to be a great episode, so don't miss it. Also, again, we have our Dick Butkus sign giveaway that's going on. Last day to enter right now. With Windy City Sports Cards, we are partnering with. Love those guys. It's their pinned tweet. Check them out. Also, we have our own giveaway that's still going on. I know a lot of you have already entered. If you want another way to enter, again, just subscribe, like this video, and comment as well in the comments. Just, entered, done, whatever it is, or bear down. We'll get what you're saying there. And then again, the support has been amazing. We're over 2,000 subs, on the road to 3,000. And of course, our Patreon, if you want to look into that, it's in our description. We also have it in our bio on all our socials. A lot of you guys have already kind of subscribed. We have a lot of great content for the month of April coming. So again, that's the backbone of Bears Fan TV. You guys have supported, and we appreciate it. Vic, am I missing anything before we get out of here?
Nah, I think that's it. Everyone enjoy your weekend. It should be a good one. The draft is going to be here soon enough, and I cannot wait.
Yeah. Hey, and also shout out to the Discord, the Spiceman66 on YouTube. Love the Discord. We also have that. That's free.
Yes. Please, link in description. Join in there. Dave and I are active in there, especially during the season. We do a bunch of contests and giveaways. If you don't know if this is your first time to Bears Fan TV, first off, let me say this. Thank you. Second off, we are the #1 show for the fans by the fans because Dave and I are fans like y'all, and we love giving away things. We give away jerseys throughout the year, especially during the season. Give away all 22 film. We give away tickets to the game. That's what we like to do here. And in the Discord, we also do that in there as well. So if you don't want to join the Patreon, totally understand. You should, because it's a great time in there. But if you want to join the Discord, it is free. And we have a bunch of cool stuff that goes on in there. And just a bunch of great conversations with a bunch of cool people in there. So always a good time. Oh, yeah, we're going to do, and I saw this too here from Gage, Jerry.
Yeah. Y'all thought we were going to leave without the OGs, the shout-outs? Gage, Jerry.
Yeah, I appreciate that. In the next episode, I will start to bring back the Patreon slides. That's another thing too. When you join the Patreon, you get a shout out for all of our shows. On every show, we give you a shout out. So we will bring in that back since the new month kicks off in April, and we're excited about that. So of course, we got to do the OGs. We always do the OGs. So here we go. Michael, who is a Hall of Fame Grizzly member in the Patreon, #OG at work, listening, helping me get through the day. Appreciate that, Michael. Enjoy work. Hopefully you're off by now.
Absolutely.
We got Jerry, #OG, hi, Big Hat Dave, and Finney from Cancun. Same resort. Caleb sent the Packers too. I love it. Appreciate it. I swear your name is different every week on YouTube. So that's funny. I do appreciate the little gag there. And then, Eater Scott here said, good morning, boys. Bummed about the comp picks, but we still have our coach and our QB. Bear down, #OG. Appreciate that, Eater. Then we got Jerome from Darien, Hall of Fame Patreon member as well, said, #OG. Can't wait for 2 years from now when the NFL changes this rule because the teams keep taking advantage of it. Good job, NFL. Yep, you got that right. Then we got Chris Ford, #OG here. We got Knights of Ben, 3790 with a #OG. We got our boy Tito, who's also a Hall of Fame Grizzly member with the #OG, baby. Tito sent you a message on the Patreon, so make sure to check that out just in case you missed that. Caleb with the #OG and also a Patreon member as well, so we really do appreciate you. And then, of course, our first OG of all time with Gage here, #OG. Can't wait to watch the Bears build on last season's success. Weird to not be wondering what QB we are grabbing. I know. What a wonderful Wonderful feeling. Don't ever forget it. Then we got Kyler Villa-Gomez on YouTube with the hashtag OG. Hey, just wanted to pop in and say hi. We appreciate that, Kyler. And then we got Thomas Whitty, who's also a Hall of Fame Grizzly Patreon member with the hashtag OG Bear Down. And then we did have one question here, but I think we kind of answered it spiced by what we did in the draft. But what would you trade the 25th pick for moving back?
Good question.
Us? Yeah, good question. And that's kind of what we did.
I would trade back maybe 5-6 picks, like max. I wouldn't go too far. The one with Arizona we just did is interesting. But
9 picks back.
That was 9 picks. It's probably too rich for me, but for the content, we did it, and it was interesting. We'll see what it looks like. I think it's a little too far for me.
Didn't turn out too bad though, so I'm not mad about it.
Got Zion still.
I did an analysis on this. One of my articles you guys can find on my Twitter, but I looked at like picks from 20 to 35 and the rate at which they become like Pro Bowlers or all pro. And it's kind of the same. So I'm cool with moving back anywhere in that range because the talent historically, right? There's outliers, but the talent historically is about the same level. So if you can recoup more picks and still get someone on the same tier of skill level, I'm okay with it. But of course, it's the NFL draft. It's a risk. You trade back, the guy in front of you ends up being a Hall of Famer, and then you have to eat that crow for the rest of your life. It happens all the time in the NFL, and that's why it's awesome. Oh, yeah. The draft is fantastic. So there's a risk with everything, and that's what makes it so fun. Final question here from D. Levine on YouTube. Great show, guys. Thank you so much. When is the next one? The next one will be next Saturday. Like Dave said, we hopefully have a special guest. Through the offseason, all of the shows will be Saturday. When it comes to, and we're going to sprinkle in some more as well, especially like the draft and things like that. We'll have a draft show. When it comes to the regular season, we always do the pregame show on Saturday. We do the postgame show live after the postgame, after whenever the game is played. And then we're going to try to get a midweek episode in as well after like our thoughts have kind of settled and we can kind of do a little bit more of an analysis there. So more shows coming. Really do appreciate all of you guys who have been with us back when we were BFR, now with BFTV. We really do appreciate all the love and support, and we're going to the moon. We're so excited to keep pumping more stuff out. We revamped the Patreon. We're putting more content on here. It's going to be an awesome season. So thank you guys for being with us with the number one show for the fans, by the fans.
Absolutely. Bear down. We, like I said, Fick said, we'll be back next Saturday like we always are. Hope you guys enjoy the Final Four later today. Cubs also play. I think about 6 o'clock. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you again for the support. Want Illinois, of course. Would love to see Illinois. But don't matter because whoever wins between Michigan and Arizona
probably wouldn't
take it. Unfortunately, there's no way. I don't think Illinois or UConn could beat either of those teams, in my opinion. But
no.
Honestly, I want to see great games. Obviously, that's all I want to see at this point. Would love to see Illinois come away.
Did you see last thing here, but did you see the report that's happening now? That they're going to expand March Madness to 76 teams. Like it's going to happen basically next year. So it'll be 24 games in the first tournament. Yeah. A lot of teams. 76 is crazy. There's only like 120 of FBS.
Everybody's in.
So
everybody gets in.
Except my Hoosiers. They didn't make it. So that's great. But yeah. Fun.
All right. Well, appreciate you guys. We'll be back soon. Hope you enjoyed this one. On your way out, hit that like button. Apple, Spotify. Appreciate you guys as well. Like and subscribe. Rate the pod. I think that's it. Shout out to Jay. Just another year Chicago hopping on, talking ball with us. And you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you soon. Bear down.
Peace.